let's take a look at our top selections for Dan Illman, Mike Beer, race number 11 at Woodbine on Sunday is the Grade 3 Mazzarine Stakes. 2-year-old fillies going 1.16 miles on the Tapeta surface. Let's take a look at this field. And this race just goes through the horse on the outside. The number 7, Super Sensational, who has lived up to her name so far, a $725,000 yearling purchase by Curlin. She's 2 for 2, and she just earned a giant fig in winning the Glorious Song. I guess the question mark is she's got to stretch out for the first time, but she's bred for it.
Yeah, she really is. I mean, you never know until they try it, Dan, but it's really not supposed to be a problem for her. She has been, as advertised in her first 2 starts, really, really impressive wins, and she hasn't even gotten down to serious business yet. And in addition to her just, overall talent, it looks like she's the only speed in this race, too. It's just another advantage for her.
Nice segue into our Timeform US pace projector. Timeform US agrees with your assessment. It is a blue bar scenario favoring horses on or near the early lead. You would have to think, considering this horse's stretch out ability, the speed she's shown in sprints, the outside post, and the fact that you just don't want to be in behind horses, Patrick Husbands is going to put her on the front.
Yeah, I mean, in my opinion, it's really the only thing that could, possibly screw her up here, Dan, because if you watch her first 2 races, she could have just been clear on the lead both times, but they didn't go with her. I think that would be a mistake to ride her that way this time.
The number 1, Il Malocchio, won the Victoria Queen Stakes 2 starts back on the turf, and most recently in the Princess Elizabeth Stakes over course and distance, ran a solid second. Let's watch that race right now. She was taken in hand early to stalk the pace. I liked that the jock dropped her to the rail, turning into the stretch. She's going to ease out behind this horse on the lead, and she's going to run a solid second. The horse on the lead, I think, is pretty good, Dreaming of Drew, Mike. And Il Malocchio was second best on this day. The figures are solid. She's hoping somebody, anybody, softens up Super Sensational.
Yeah, true enough. I mean, she ran fine in this race. She was never going to beat Dreaming of Drew. Didn't really threaten her through the stretch. And you're right. I agree with you that she got a great ride in there to get over to the inside around the second turn. She chased very gamely through the stretch. She was only second best, but overall, it was a fine performance.
Synthetic debut for the 2, Sleek Lynx. This horse just has a beautiful pedigree, and distance I don't think should be any sort of an issue. She turned back successfully to win a maiden special weight on the turf from Marcassi last time out. Let's watch that race. She's in the pink silks as we turn into the stretch in between horses, and she's going to get this done with a nice performance. She has some work to do. It is a long stretch at Woodbine, but not only is she going to get by this horse on the lead, she's going to get away. She reminds me of Cassie's horse in the gray, the 8, Easy Time, who is a horse with a lot of upside potential, a horse with a big pedigree, and a horse that I think can move forward, that might not be overlooked on the tote board, Mike. This horse hasn't run the fastest races just yet, but has shown ability.
I agree, Dan. I think she's run pretty well in all of her starts. I was actually surprised that they cut her back to sprint last time because she's really bred to go longer. Her dam won the Canadian International going 1.5 miles. So, I mean, she has a distance pedigree. Her career debut was actually a very interesting performance. She was very green in that race, but to me, she showed a lot of potential that day. And I liked the way that she won last time. I think she's a contender stretching back out.
And the runner-up from the video we just saw you, she came right back to win on synthetic with a 71 buyer. Do You Love Me? That's the number 3, and she was a maiden winner last time out at Presque Isle Downs, now in the Trombetta barn, Lasix on. One of the horses she beat came back to win at Gulfstream West in a maiden claimer with a 58 buyer. Trombetta is so dangerous. Just look at the stats. With the horses he's shipped up to Woodbine, he's sitting at almost 50% this meet. This horse has to improve, obviously, from a speed figure standpoint, but it was nice to see her take the step up around 2 turns.
Yeah, I like that she got it done last time when they finally stretched her out. It feels like that was a good thing for her. Now she just has to get faster, but you know what? You're right. Switching to Trombetta, coming up here, and it feels like he's pretty confident in her to run her in this race. Lasix on, there are things to like.
Batia's running style might put her really up against it in this race because she has virtually no early speed. And if the Timeform US pace projector is right, she might be coming from double digits out of it and trying to run down a very good horse in Super Sensational. That being said, I thought her debut was good at Belmont. I liked how she came from off the pace. Last time out at Keeneland, it looked to me like she just banged off the rail going into the first turn while near the back of the pack, and that couldn't have been fun. And then she worked out a last on the rail trip against horses like Aunt Pearl and Ingracia, two pretty good stakes horses. We'll see if she handles the synthetic surface. If there is some pace, I expect her to come running.
Yeah, if there is some pace, I would too. I'm with you. I liked her debut, and I'm not going to hold the Jessamine against her too much. It was a race that it was a really tough spot for her against a good field. I mean, I don't know if she's going to like this surface, but there's no reason why she really shouldn't. She's just going to need the right trip here. I'm not sure if she's going to get it.
Army Wife made her career debut on turf. As a matter of fact, her first 3 starts on turf. She switched to dirt last time out, scored at Churchill Downs from off of the pace. The runner-up, who has a habit of running second, came back to run second again with a 67 Beyer speed figure. This horse is bred for kind of the turf, the tapeta, the alternative surfaces, and distance shouldn't be a problem, but I need to see more.
Yeah, I'm mildly interested in her, Dan. I don't, care that much. I know that she finally got her maiden win last time. I don't really care that much about that race. I just thought she was kind of interesting based on her turf form because her debut sprinting was fine, a little bit green still in that race. I thought she ran really well when they stretched her out at Saratoga. That was a pretty good third she ran that day. And yeah, she disappointed when they cut her back again at Belmont to sprint 6 furlongs on turf. That wasn't her greatest performance, but she bounced back a little bit last time. She's supposed to be fine going longer. She's going to be a price in here. I can see using her somewhere.
Up next is the 6, Designer Ready, who has a beautiful pedigree, and she sure ran to it in her career debut on October the 3rd, albeit on the turf. Let's watch this race. There was a big pace on, and this didn't break well, and actually helped her out because this pace is going to fall apart. You're going to see her in the black silk. She's a little bit green. She's weaving her way through some traffic. All the holes open up for Designer Ready, though, and she's eventually going to roll by this field. The pace helped her out, but she did beat 3 next out winners.
Yeah, she ran okay in here. A slow start. You're right. The pace was contested in front of her. It really helped her out. You can see her, running by the leaders there and getting clear at the end. I thought she ran well in here, Dan, taking advantage a little bit to be sure. I know that Mrs. Frankel, the horse that was second, came back to win. I'm not a big fan of that horse, though, Dan. I think Designer Ready's going to have to run a lot better than that in here.
And here's the star of the show, the 7, Super Sensational. 2 starts, 2 Facile wins, including this performance, going 7/8 of a mile in the Glorious Song Stakes. And she sat just off the lead. She takes over, and this is how you want your odds-on favorites to win, under hands and heels urging with a big Beyer speed figure. And yes, she has to stretch out for the first time, but she has the pedigree, and she has that early pace, which should put her in a good position. She's simply the horse to beat.
Yeah, she is. We'll see what happens here, but she's just been as advertised in her first 2 starts. Dan, really impressive wins. Has not had to get down to serious business either time. I just think she's been really impressive. I'm expecting her to handle the stretch out. And at the end of the day, I didn't want to bet against her at a short price or not.
And that's where you're going to go as we take a look at our top selections. I'm that way against her. I'm intrigued, though, by the 4 Batia. Like you, I liked her debut rally. I thought the trip wasn't there against better horses at Keeneland last time out. We'll see how she handles the synthetic. We'll see if she can handle a slow pace, because I'm not sure she's going to be able to overcome a slow pace if Super Sensational's multiple lengths ahead of her turning into the lane. But I wonder if we get 7-8 to 1 on Batia. 4-7-1-6 for me, 7-2-1-5 for Mike. It's the Grade 3 Mazzarine. 2 graded stakes races on tap at Woodbine on Sunday. Best of luck.